Good morning, YouTube. It's 7:29 a.m. Monday, July 24th, 2023, and I'm headed for my second or my third day of work down at MLS, depending on whether you count last Wednesday when I went in for training. Second actual day of full work. I'm hoping I'll be a little more autonomous today and just kind of doing my own thing today. That's what I'm hoping for. Yay, leaving with a Mountain Dew. I'm a little more prepared for, oh, hello, car. I'm a little more prepared for getting through the day, getting through the break. Since my stop at Circle K yesterday, I've got the rest of this Mountain Dew, which I'll probably have finished before I get there. But I got another Mountain Dew and a big thing of Arizona iced tea that I'll be able to put in the fridge to wait for me. I've noticed lately Waymo has been camping out at this location. And by camping out, I mean that's where they're parking when they're between runs, so they can be ready when somebody calls them. And that's something I've mentioned before. Like the first day I followed a Waymo just to find out, hey, where do they go? Where do they go? And it had kind of lost me. And I ended up going the next day to try to figure out where they go over there. I ended up finding one just kind of camped out on sort of a back road that didn't really have any businesses on it, anything on it, except for a guy that was who looked homeless, sitting with his headphones in, enjoying a tablet. Most likely a free government tablet that's got its own SIM card and gets its own 3G internet service. All right, I really need to check the traffic since I'm driving to work. And, oh, it looks like smooth sailing the entire way, no matter which way I go. I think my best bet is well, it was bad timing with that pedestrian taking up the gap while we're trying to turn right. I think my best bet is just going to be the 143 split off to the 202 to the 10 eastbound, which is actually southbound, to the rental car center exit, to Sky Harbor Loop, to Buckeye, to the Hertz parking lot. I believe that's going to be my best route. I'm still trying to figure out exactly how I'm going to go about using the SkyTrain as my method of commuting. And hopefully I'll have that sorted out before the end of the week. This is going to be weird for me having this regular of a work schedule. And I guess I shouldn't really say that because, I mean, I did have a regular work schedule at Williams-Sonoma Furniture. I just couldn't follow it to save my life. Being on the road at a little bit after 4 a.m. to be to work at 5 a.m. Monday through Friday, that did not sync with my rhythm whatsoever as hard as I tried to make it. I got a feeling this is probably going to be a struggle for me as well, but two things making it easier. Even though this is pretty early in the morning, being up and awake and getting ready for work at 7 a.m. and being to work at 8 a.m. The commute is super, super short, so I'm not trying to drive a long distance where there's a mixture of people that are driving insane speeds, people that are driving obscenely slow, and then other people that are just driving ridiculously fast, to the point where if a cop happened to want to give them a ticket, it would be a criminal speeding ticket. I'm not trying to deal with a long drive. That makes a big difference. And for me, getting up at 3:30 a.m., waking up, setting an alarm clock, going to sleep, and then somehow waking up at 3:30 a.m. was just absolutely not happening. I couldn't seem to get my body to do that to save my life. Getting up at 7 a.m., I'm not going to lie and say I like it because I don't. But it's, I feel like it's doable. Hit the road at roughly 7:30. Work at 8. This is a little more traffic than Google Maps implied I would be coming into. And this is an amount of traffic to be expected going into the short stack, coming in from the 202 into downtown Phoenix at 7:30 in the morning. So I really need to sort out the commute via SkyTrain. I'm going to certainly enjoy that a whole lot better, even if it isn't going to present as much of an opportunity to record a vlog, which is fine. I mean, at this point, I need to start recording a whole lot less because I am now officially over 2 weeks behind at editing and uploading this stupid thing. I'm still working on Sunday the 9th. So I got 2 more videos to finish up and upload from Sunday the 9th. So, yikes. On a brighter note, this gets me driving to work. It's another thing I didn't enjoy about my commute going to Williams-Sonoma. It had me driving when America's First News was on, KTAR, which I enjoy that program, don't get me wrong, but it's not nearly as local and as informative as the KTAR Morning News, which is on right now. I should turn that up and see if I'm missing anything of relevance.
Richard says he hopes sanctions against Lake's lawyers will help the state avoid an overload of lawsuits in the next election. KTAR News Time, 7:36.
Yeah, I don't see that stopping.
Thanks, Jamie, and once again,
I don't see that stopping anyway.
Dan telling you where to go in the nicest way possible. He's in the Valley Chevy Dealers Traffic Center.
That was so nice of you. 7th Street and Broadway. That's where not to go. That's where we do have a crash. The rest of these freeways, you kind of headed towards them whether I want you to or not. They're headed to them. As you're headed to them, be aware that there are some extra minutes on them, but they're on the mild side. Right now on the westbound 202, Santan, an extra 2 to 3 minutes from Val Vista to Alma School. Westbound 60, an extra minute or 2 from what looks like now Stapley over to the 101 Price. Northbound 101 Price, an extra minute or 2 from Baseline north up to Broadway. That's getting a little thicker. And westbound I-10, here it comes. Slowing north of Guadalupe into the Broadway curve, but still only an extra minute or so to your ride. In total, I'd say we're still in pretty darn good shape. This traffic report brought to you by Smokey's Garage Door with a 4.8-star rating on Google, backed by over 750 real client reviews. Smokey's Garage.
I'm still totally overestimating how much time I need to make this drive. Like I'm practically there. 7:37 right now. 7:34 in the Saturn cloud.
Rain possible here in the valley. We're going to have a few clouds, obviously, to go along with that. Our low tonight, 94, and our excessive heat warning continues through Wednesday as we're looking at highs of 118 tomorrow and Wednesday. Your weather is brought to you by Howard Air. Whether replace or repair, call Howard Air.
Oh, it's Howard Air. Of course, there's a conspiracy for you.
Center, a new policy to
it's an air conditioning company making it this goddamn hot.
To wander the plaza with a cocktail or glass of wine in hand has been deemed a success after just 6 months. Since January, Tempe Marketplace and Desert Ridge Marketplace have distributed 11,707 wristbands, with 9 establishments participating in the program, which they dubbed Sip and Stroll. On Wall Street right now, you've got markets...
Not to be confused with Sip and Save. That's Circle K's drink program.
Dow's up almost 0.5% now.
I haven't got my Sip and Save yet for today.
He's up 1/3%, having gained 16 points, and the NASDAQ is up, but less than 0.25%. It's up 21. For more money news.
Since midnight, the only place that I've gone is I've walked over to QT.
Commentary is our cleaner, greener future going to consist of burying electric cars in lakes and taking up a bunch of land to do that, to put out the fires that they cause? Next on Arizona's Morning News.
WGU is a nonprofit.
That should be an interesting sharper point. Meanwhile, I hope I get to drive more electric cars today. I'm really looking forward to see if at some point I can scoob. I think that's what they call it. I wonder if he said scooping, and I'm just mishearing the guy as scooping. Possible. B's and P's kind of sound similar. At least they do to me. I'm just looking forward to the day I can maybe get away with doing that in a Polestar.
To complete your bachelor's degree.
At this point, I'd still rather be the person that's moving the cars. It's just, I enjoy the challenge of sitting in a different vehicle every 5 minutes or so, and trying to learn the differences between the way they work. Because cars are so different now, especially compared to what I'm used to in this old Saturn. Like at this point, almost everything uses proximity keys. Teslas are weird. Teslas use this like card key that you've got to shove into basically the car's armpit sometimes to make it start. Boy, was that hard for what's her nuts, the old chick, Mildred or Ethel or whatever the hell her name is. And it was hard as hell for her to explain to me like how to do that. And to be fair, the Tesla itself wasn't doing any better of a job to explain. Like on the dashboard, it said tap car key to start, and it really reminded me of the first time I ever rented a Bird scooter, where it said kick scooter to start. And so I'm like kicking the scooter, kind of like you would kick a soccer ball, and I'm trying to figure out, okay, where do I need to kick this thing for it to start? And what I didn't understand was that it meant to kick push the scooter like you would kick push a skateboard. Like, that didn't even occur to me. It didn't say kick push, it said kick scooter to start. Words have meanings, and it's so easy to use words that don't convey clear meanings. Since I'm here fairly early, I want to stick around to hear Jim Sharp's sharper point as I sit through this annoying water softener ad.
Don't fall for companies that promise what they cannot deliver. You and your family can rest assured that the Kinetico K5 is certified to remove 99% of forever chemicals that could be in your
I am being offered so many jobs in Wonolo right now. It's just driving me crazy knowing that there's instant money, and I'm turning it down for money that I'm not going to receive until after my rent is due. But I'm at the point I really need to be looking towards the future rather than just the now. And I think I got the now covered. If not covered, close enough to covered, I should be able to be okay. It's offering me Sky Chefs right now. You know, a lot of times these jobs on Wonolo are for way off. This one's for Sunday the 30th, 6 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. I feel like that's probably going to conflict with my Domino schedule, so I don't dare take it. Then again, it's Monday, July 24th. If I take it, I have plenty of time to reject it if it is a schedule conflict.
KTAR News Time is 7:43, and from the Valley Chevy Dealers Traffic Center, here's Detour Dan.
Thank you, Jim. All right, now looking at a decent commute, but the westbound 202.
Oh, crap. This one requires a special onboarding. Yeah, I don't have time for that. Damn. I was hoping I'd be able to take it and kind of hold it and double check it and then cancel
Our
it.
high today, 115. The low tonight, 94. And 118 are predicted highs for tomorrow and Wednesday, with a slight chance of rain today and also Tuesday and Wednesday. Your weather is brought to you by Howard Air.
Arizona's morning news. News Flash.
I'm Jamie West. Here's what you need to know right now. Residents in the paths of 2 Arizona wildfires have been evacuated. The community of Cherry, east of Prescott, because of the 400-acre racetrack fire, and Sunflower, northeast of the valley, due to the 650-acre diamond fire.
Every time I hear one of these, I always worry about my sister Chris, who lives up north of Phoenix in Black Canyon City, because it's been more than a couple times that those fire evacuation warnings have included her house.
For Texas to promise to remove the razor wire and buoys along its southern border.
Buoys!
It's meant to deter migrants
It's a funny
from
word.
coming from Mexico. The governor, Greg Abbott, says,
Buoy.
"We'll see you in court, Mr. President."
Buoy.
We're never more than 15 minutes away from today's top stories on Arizona's news station, KTAR News.
Buoy.
Sharper Point commentary. Presented by Schwartz Laser Eye Center.
Exactly 1 month after a fire at the Nicola
Oh, damn it.
tractors, we found out that at least one of those trucks wasn't fully destroyed because yesterday it reignited. As crews worked to put out that fire back in June, a fire of suspicious origin, Phoenix Fire Department Captain Todd Keller told ABC 15 that they use a lot of water. Lots and lots of water to put out electric vehicle fires.
The water is cooling these cells down, so it helps the reignition on these cells. Like I said, it's a ton of energy, small amount of space. There's multiple ways that you put these out. They can bury them, they can submerge them in sand and water.
But obviously the job wasn't complete. I don't blame the fire department because electric vehicle fires are crazily hard to put out and crazily unpredictable when it comes to reignition. You heard Captain Keller mention burying electric vehicles in sand or water because that at least robs the fire of oxygen. But is that what our greener, cleaner future holds for us? Buried cars? Buried underground? Or even buried in lakes? Doesn't sound very environmentally friendly to me. According to the Phoenix Fire Department, the battery cells in that reignited electric truck were burning at over 800 degrees Fahrenheit, and crews had to pour hundreds of gallons of water per minute to, quote, change the chemical reaction by cooling the battery compartment. After the fire experienced, quote, another thermal runaway and ignition of the battery cells located in the vehicle. Now, according to U.S. insurance data, the risk of fire in electric cars is much lower than in traditional combustion engine cars. However, when electric vehicles do catch fire, they can pose a whole different set of issues to firefighters and a different set of dangers to the general public. The risks for electric car fires include electric shock, very high temperatures, toxic fumes and runoff, lithium burns, and reignition. The U.S. Fire Administration says electric cars can cause 4 types of fires. The 2 most dangerous being the Class C fire, which involves lithium-ion batteries, and Class D fires, which involve magnesium, titanium, aluminum, and lithium. The National Fire Protection Association provides training for firefighters for electric vehicle fires and special guidance to fight fires in electric cars. The NFPA advises water as the best method to put out the fires, but warns that this takes much longer than traditional car fires and that the smoke is toxic. And unlike combustion engine vehicles, the National Fire Protection Association has model-specific safety guidelines for electric cars. The International Fire Chiefs Association says that a large, continuous, and sustainable water supply is needed to fight electric vehicle fires. Doesn't sound very environmentally conscientious, does it? Nor does the concept of so-called zero-emission vehicles in many ways, because the electricity generated to power them, when they aren't on fire, has to be produced somewhere. That somewhere used to be my hometown of Page, Arizona. Okay, it still is in some ways with the hydroelectric dam at Lake Powell, but there used to be the Navajo generating station there. They knocked down its smokestacks a couple of years ago, but I remember in high school, my history teacher walking into class, sitting on his desk and saying, you know, I just heard something very interesting. That brown haze that hangs over Page, I was told that actually comes from L.A., and there's a little hole in the atmosphere right over Page that drops all that brown cloud right down on top of us. No, it didn't. KTAR news time is 7:49. And here is Detour Dan in the Valley.
And on that note, I need to get my ass into work. Glad they gave me a little extra time to remember to put my sunshade in because it's going to be brutally hot in this car when I get off work at 4:30 p.m. Yeah, that's some serious food for thought, the electric vehicle fire thing. There have been more than a couple really big ones. I mean, he mentioned one with a truck, and I hadn't heard about that, but I certainly remember the one with a Waymo vehicle, which was pretty recent. And that was a pretty big deal. And that was right outside their facilities in South Phoenix. Not even South Phoenix, more like, the south side of downtown Phoenix. He kind of touched on the water consumption. That's a really big deal. Water consumption here in the desert is a really, really big deal when you consider the influx of population here within the last decade. The potential of more and more electric vehicles, possibly resulting in more and more electrical vehicle fires, resulting in just this insane water consumption. Pretty big deal. Anyway, I need to get my ass to work. I'm seeing other coworkers of mine drifting to the south with their safety vests, so it's time. Hello and welcome back, YouTube. Well, I managed to outdo myself for stupid today. Whoa. This ain't good. I just looked down and there's no I have no clock, no radio, none of that. That's not good. So I left my headlights on while I was at work and came out to a dead battery. And that's complicated by the fact that my battery is located in the trunk. I don't have a key that will open the trunk lock. So the only way to pop the trunk to get at the battery is the trunk latch thing, and that's electric. So anyway, all those things well. Obviously, I'm driving the car, so although for some reason I have no clock and no radio, so that's not good. Oh, you know, I had a whole agenda of what I was going to do after work, and right now I'm just so hot and exhausted from the last better part of an hour dealing with, oh shit, my car is dead. And I was half paranoid that if I left, took a bus or a SkyTrain home, or whatever, you know, took public transit home, I was nervous that if I left this in the parking lot, because I don't really know, I'm new there, so nobody's going to recognize the vehicle, if there was like some chance that it might get towed before I come back into work tomorrow. Legit worried about that sort of thing. I have no extra money for any of that kind of bullshit right now. Like, I just can't have anything go wrong right now. And that felt like a close call. Oh, and I called AAA and was told for the first time ever that I had already used my maximum number of service call requests, and that I can't have any more free service calls until my membership renews, which is in September. So that's a little unnerving. I didn't realize. I mean, I guess I shouldn't be shocked that there's a limit on it, but Priscilla's the one that signed up for that, so I don't really know all the details on it. It's my understanding that the membership she has, she basically gets 2 cards, one for her and one for a family member, so I'm quote-unquote family member. And it's not that I don't appreciate that, but it's just that I don't know all the details. All the details on that. And wow, I really want to go to Circle K and get my Sip and Save drink. But I'm also really worried if I shut off the car that it might not start right back up again. Now I'm thinking the problem with the radio might just be pop fuse. So I got one of the mechanics at the shop there at Hertz Rent-A-Car. It's kind of confusing. Like, I don't know all the departments there. And there's some people that work for Hertz and some people that work for MLS. Like, I know the people that I immediately work with, but there's a whole lot of people on the premises that I don't know. And of course, I'm a new face, so nobody really knows me either. I mean, I'm wearing an MLS safety vest, so at least, you know, somebody who doesn't know me, at least I don't, you know, I look like I'm supposed to be there. Anyway, the shop manager, like, this is the first time I finally shook his hand and introduced myself, but I've been seeing him around, and we've had a couple, you know, random short conversations just mostly about, holy shit, it's hot out here. And we did have an interesting short conversation where he was cussing out a Tesla. So Teslas have this feature in it where you can set the default position for the seat, and it'll just automatically go to that position. And I don't know how to change that or how to cancel that or reset it. And every now and then you get in a Tesla to move it, and somebody has set that default position for the seat in just an absolutely absurd position. And you try to adjust the seat, and then the seat keeps trying to go back into whatever absurd position somebody set it as the default. Like, I had one that was doing that to me on Friday, where every time I stopped the car, and in the process of moving it, especially if it's going to a maintenance line, like, I've got to stop and get these little plastic magnetic hats. They call them hats. It's basically an indicator that's held on the roof of the car by a magnet, color-coded, just to make it easy for people to see what class of issue the car has. There's a SkyTrain in front of me, off in the distance. Really wishing I'd taken the SkyTrain to work today. Although there's the possibility that I might have, you know, parked somewhere here near the 44th Street station, and it would have been a lot more difficult for me to get started there than at work. But anyway, I can't believe I did that. It's been a long time since I've made that mistake. So, dang, completely lost my train of thought. Go me. Oh, so anyway, I was talking about the Tesla seat thing. Anyway, I didn't realize it was a shop manager. I just saw it was somebody in a Hertz shirt. And it's somebody I'd seen going around on a golf cart earlier doing stuff with cars. And I just said hi to him before, but this particular time he was getting out of a Tesla and he was just cussing out. He said, I can't do the shit to that car, and the seat just keeps trying to go all the way to the back of the car and lay flat. I'm like, yeah, they've got that weird thing where somebody can set the default seat position to something completely absurd. And I ended up trying to move that car later, and it was even worse than the last one I did. Like just when I sat in it and I moved the seat to, where I would have it to drive the car. And starting a Tesla is like this whole weird procedure. At this point, most of the cars have proximity keys. So as soon as I step in the car with the key, I just hit a button, like a power button, and then the car just starts right up and I move it. Pretty simple. But with the Teslas, the key is shaped like a card. Oh damn, somebody torched that building on the right. Wow. I would imagine my camera didn't get much of a view of it, but yeah, the little building there on the right is completely burned down. It's not much left of it. Wonder when that happened. Wonder if that's that propane fire that was on the news like a week ago. It seems like they were saying that was around 40th Street in Van Buren. You know what? I met a guy that had some kind of a propane business around here. I think he owned it. Met him a couple of times at the Wander Inn. I haven't seen him there lately, and now it's been so long I forget his name. Yeah, there was one night I sat and probably talked to that guy for like an hour. He was interesting. So I was wondering if that's it and if that's his business. Kind of bummed I haven't seen him in quite a while. It kind of bums me out when I meet somebody at a place that I hang out and kind of click with them and then just never see him a couple times and then never see him again. I just kind of wonder what happens to people like that. But anyway, so back to the Tesla thing. Yeah, the shop manager was just cussing that thing out when I went to move it. So when you start the Teslas, you've got to basically shove the card key. It'll say on the screen, tap card to start, which is vague. Like, tap it how? Tap it against what? I'm sitting here, doing this sort of thing. I'm like, okay, I'm tapping it. Why isn't the car starting? And anyway, yeah, somebody showed me how to do that. The first time I got into Tesla, it was, and actually, no, I had to call, I forget her name, the old lady with the old lady name, Ethel or Esther or whatever it is. Between me being me and just, I don't know, I just take everything so literally. I think it's just one of those being on the spectrum kind of things, and then her having really bad communication skills and just adverbs and pronouns for everything. Like the most absurd thing she said to me today, and I don't think she realized how absurd it was, but there's a new guy I started working with. He works evening shift. but I kind of overlapped with him, so she kind of put us together, which is cool. That guy is cool as fuck. In fact, if it wasn't for that guy, I question if I would have managed to get my car jump started and handled after I came out and found it dead. And it bums me out. I can't remember his name. I think I made him feel bad because he asked me how old I thought he was, and I said I thought he was 28. Not trying to be insulting or telling the guy he looks old. He just looks, you know, he's got kind of a mature air about him, but I guess he's 20. I can't remember if he said 21 or 22, but he's got a baby on the way in the next week. It's like, wow. It's like, yeah, I'm just working. I got to get my life together, man. It's just suddenly this is bigger than me, which is a great attitude from like an expectant father. That's, you know. On that note, I was kind of wanting to go see Allison, but now I'm not sure. Not so sure about my car. First thing first, I just need to get this damn thing home and see if when I stop it, if it's going to start up again. I'm going to figure out what I'm doing with the rest of my day after that. So yeah, I had to call, I think her name is Esther, or Ethel. Anyway, she's trying to explain how to start the car, and her explanations are just as vague as tap card key, which is what it says on the screen. Now, eventually she managed to, like, work. I managed to follow her directions enough to the point where I managed to get the car started, and then it was a whole nother routine shutting it off. But yeah, the more I use Teslas, the less I like them. I'll say that. Polestars, on the other hand, the more I drive them, the more I like them. By the way, I did get my answer today as to whether I could use a Polestar as a scoop vehicle, and the answer is no. That we're not allowed to use any kind of a premium vehicle, and a Polestar is considered a premium vehicle. So that's sort of a bummer. On that note, I scooped for a while today. I was wondering at one point I'd end up getting to do it, and I actually did it with Andre driving, which I kind of figured it'd go the other direction because he'd driven me around. He had driven me around the other day. He's like, no, it's good. It's a good thing you can learn, you know, it's a good thing you seem to learn fast, so you can learn how to do that. Oh, I went off site today for the first time. That's kind of exciting. Yeah, Ethel first asked Andre if he wanted to do it, and he was just like, he had this look on his face like fuck my life. He tries to avoid her as much as possible. He just does not like being around her. So I guess the thought of having to drive to some off-site location with her was just not his idea of a good time. But he didn't want to straight up tell her no either. But the way he said it couldn't have been, you know, any less enthusiastic. And then unexpectedly, she asked if I wanted to roll with to see how that was done. And I was very enthusiastic about it. I'm like, hell yeah, like I'm just, you know, on this closed course here. Yeah, going off site, that sounds very exciting. And, you know, actually driving a Tesla on the street, you know, it's change the scenery. It's kind of dead here. Let's do it. And we ended up all rolling together, and that was kind of an awkward, the whole ride there was, generally speaking, just awkward silence the whole way. And of course, I had asked her where we were going, and she said she didn't know, and obviously at some point between her saying she didn't know and us leaving, she was told, but she never bothered to tell me. I didn't bother asking her again. It was just awkward. Like, Ethel and I don't communicate very well. But as I was saying, like the most awkward thing that she said was just the guy that I just worked with the last hour, who also helped me get my car jump started. He just like pairing me up with him. At this point, Andre and then the younger black guy had both bounced about an hour and a half early. So it was just me and the French guy. And which is fine. Like I was scooping in a Nissan, and it was dead. But like it just with the two of us, like it seemed like most every time we went back up to the garage, like the multi-level rental where Hertz is up on the third floor. It seemed like most every time, if there wasn't a car in the Hertz side, there was a car in the dollar side. But yeah, we went and basically checked all three locations where we pick up vehicles from, and not a single one. And it's like, well, I guess, so we should go back. But I said, I don't want to deal with Ethel. And he just kind of laughed. And sure as shit, we get there, and waves me down and stuff. So yeah, I'm just like, no. But she's wanting to pair me up with this other guy, or actually I think before that, she was basically asked me to start moving cars on the line, which is fine. I can do that. But my God, by then it was like 115. And there's nothing like getting in a car that's been sitting there with no sunshade, all the windows rolled up, black steering wheel, black leather interior. And it just like, it felt like I was stepping into an oven. And then as soon as I turned the car on, whoever drove it last had left the air conditioning on, blowing cold air at full blast. And now I'm thinking to myself, my God, that might have been me. And maybe I should make an effort now every time I park a car in those lines to turn the fan like all the way off. Because I get in them and then suddenly they be blowing air. And yeah, it's air conditioning, but that hot air has just been sitting in there, and I'm only moving the car like, 4 or 5 car lengths forward at best. So while I'm doing it, I've got that thing blowing just absolutely scorching hot air at me while I'm dealing with my fingertips hitting the steering wheel, and it literally burning my fingertips. Didn't think I'd need my warehousing gloves, but next time I do that, I'm going to make a point to have them on me. Anyway, that was brutal. Basically like having 4 people standing a foot away from you with hair dryers on the highest setting. That's what it felt like while you're inside an oven. Just brutal, ludicrous hot. And I'm just trying to tough it out, and just get them moved. And then when I walk back, I get that all done and I walk back. And this is what Ethel said that was just so completely absurd. She goes, hey, I'm going to go with, and I forget the afternoon guy's name. She goes, I'm going to go with that guy, said his name. And he goes, just wait in the car until I get back. That's what she said. The car. Wait in the car. We're on a rental car lot with roughly, I don't know, 500 cars. She tells me to wait in the car. Miraculously, I figured out which one she was talking about. But yeah, she's the kind of person that says, put that over there. And when you ask her what that and where, what that she's referring to and what over there she's referring to, gets upset. And we had a couple of those kind of moments today. And at one point she goes, so over where? And she goes, over there. And she just kind of does this like hand gesture. And I'm like, yeah, it's all over there from over here. She's like, what? like you don't understand that it's all over there from over here. Like, I'm going to need you to be more specific than that. Anyway, it was a day at work. It was overall a really great day. Don't get me wrong. It's just the weird shit like that is, it sticks in mind. But hey, oh, here's a moment of truth. Is my car going to start? Yes, it is. Well, that's good. As much as I want to go get my sip and save, you know what? It's starting to get overcast. I don't need to worry about the sunshade. I don't think. I'm just going to go inside and just bask in my air conditioning and drink some cold bottled water and regroup after that. I do definitely need to get a hold of Al, the cell phone guy, because I'm having more and more issues with my iPhone screen. Presumably it's still under warranty. And I'm going to have to use the Domino's app on the thing tomorrow. So hopefully I can get that sorted out for the end of the day, because I'm not going to have any time to deal with that tomorrow.